About 3 years ago, an advertisement came up for a job here in Our Lady's Hospice, and I applied, and somehow I'm still here since. Before I worked in Our Lady's Hospice, I really didn't have much of an idea what happened here on site. I did a bit of research before I applied, but I had no idea of the scale of the services that were here. I would say that there's a lot more happening here than the palliative hospice name. That there's so much positive rehab happening between our care of the elderly services and the rheumatology rehab, even our hydrotherapy service, that just because you've been referred in here, not to be scared off by the word hospice. It's like a community almost. There's over 600 people working here and everyone really works together, and it's a lot different than maybe acute hospitals I would have experienced before. It's a really positive place, and a lot of people have maybe negative feelings about their time in acute hospitals and the busyness and the hustle and bustle, and I just would promise that in here it's very different, and it's a lot more relaxed and a lot more supportive and a very friendly environment. Light Up a Life is probably one of the most iconic events in our calendar here in Our Lady's Hospice. I remember my first year here, I actually called over to see it, and I had no idea the scale of it. It was such a beautiful winter's afternoon, so many people gather and to remember their loved ones. And just the atmosphere in that day is just the epitome of Our Lady's Hospice. People are gathering together to celebrate life and remember the people they've lost. And there's always a lovely sense of people who have lost people here tend to have an affinity and a connection with the hospice for many years afterwards. And that's one of those occasions where they gather, and just the scale of the crowds, the moment when all the lights are on and there's a moment's silence, it was just an amazing thing to see.